Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. It's so weird. I know there's people watching on YouTube. There's people talking in the chat, right? And I'm getting 0 people watching that. Hey, let me just check that. It's the weirdest thing. Hang on. Let me see. Go open the YouTube window. Okay, yeah. No, literally everybody just vanished. There's one person watching. What happened there? Man, I tell you, that ties into our channel news tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We have a lot of channel news tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, I assume people are over on the Rumbles. Rumble is much better to me than the YouTubes, right? Rumbles is much better to me than you. So if you're not subscribing to Rumble, head on over to Rumble, ladies and gentlemen. Head on there. Yeah, look, there's actually people watching on Rumble right now, right? It's freaking incredible. But not only am I on Rumble, let me just check over here. I think, yes, indeed, I am on the Twits as well, right? Live on Twitter. Incredible, ladies and gentlemen. This is a channel change for me, I have to tell you. This is a bit of a change up because things have changed in the house of Lebetkin. Indeed, things have changed in the house of Lebetkin. I'm so freaked out. I never have the counter going 0. Right? I'm hoping it's like I just saw people watching and doing my head in. It's doing my head in. See, what they want to do is make you think it's hopeless, right? Crowd, I had a whole thing on this the other day, and I thought, yeah, I think I completely agree. They want to make you think it's hopeless. Why did they take away the dislike button count? So you could see that so you can't see anymore. You're in the vast majority, right? We are in the vast majority, and everything else is illusion, which is why they scream and cry so much at anything we say, right? It's because they know they're full of shit about everything. They know Suze is smart and talented. You know, what Suze kept, yeah, they know that. They know that she's just this is why she's got a huge following. I think she does have quite, but not on YouTube, weirdly enough. But she does have a dedicated following, anyway, because she takes the piss out of people other people hate, right? She's feeding into that social media hatred, right? And she very much is, right? It's all about dunking on people, which is what I think she wanted to do. I thought she said, oh yeah, I'll get this Doctor Who job. It'll be great on my resume, great for my career, get a bit of money. It will be fan-freaking-tastic. And can I just say, if the stream's been restricted or anything, this is so strange. It is the weirdest freaking thing. No, it says everything's up and running. Man, live viewers, there's 4 right now. Okay, so hang on. Let me go over here. Now it says 7. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, so let's look at the... no, it's still saying 0. It's messing with my mind, ladies and gentlemen. It's messing with my mind. But doesn't make much to that. Anyway, the news is on Friday. Friday was a freaking nightmare. Oh, my God. I forgot we haven't spoken. Friday was a freaking nightmare. It really should have. I'm exaggerating. I'm sort of exaggerating, right? So Friday is kind of like Saturday here in Israel, right? It's kind of like an extra day to get stuff done and catch up with stuff. I have about half a day off on Friday, right? Because Friday evening around 4 or 5 o'clock, Sabbath starts. The clock's changed, so now it's it was 6:30 this week, right? Ended at 7:30, which is why the stream is so late. It's because I'm also only 1 hour ahead of you right now. Right, for me, it's just gone 9 o'clock. For you, it's just gone 8 o'clock in the UK. Anyway, Friday. So Friday was a freaking nightmare, mate. Freaking nightmare, because my friend's son was getting married on Friday. And it's a nightmare having a Friday wedding. It just is. Because you're busy getting ready for Sabbath and just trying to catch up with your housework, right? That's basically Friday. So it's talking about a 6-hour chunk out Friday. Was it a fun 6 hours? I don't like weddings to start with, right? Let's walk into that. It was very pretty where it was. That's the thing in the hall. It was very pretty and the food was excellent, right? I will say both those things were very good, right? I do not want to diss. Anyway. Was it? So so yeah, it was early in the morning. So we had to leave like at about 10, right? So first, in a Jewish wedding, first you have a thing called the shmug, the couplet panim. It's basically there's, I don't know. Do you have this in a non-Jewish wedding? I have no freaking idea. I've only ever seen non-Jewish weddings on movies and TV. I don't know what they're like in real life. That's really weird. You want to know a really weird, true thing? Jewish kosher chickens come with like this little metal tag to show it's kosher. Not sure if they still do, but they used to, right? So now they so I didn't know. I thought all chickens came with that little metal tag. And when the first time I saw a non-kosher chicken, I was like, really? Where's the little metal tag? No. So I had a very insult me. And I wasn't like religious at all. We were just Jewy, right? We were Jewy. Like my mother knew nothing from the religion of Judaism, right? Absolutely nothing. Right? Grew up with just zero knowledge. My father had a much more traditional. Man, I gotta get a haircut. Much more traditional one. Anyway, upbringing. So that's basically where everything came from. But anyway, I digress. We're going to the wedding, right? It's the wedding. That's so I try and get some work done before we leave. We leave at 10:30. I get like thank God for this high speed internet, right? Absolutely thank God for it. Hang on. I think I've just had a troubleshooting idea. One second. Let me see if can I try and okay? So it says I'm live in StreamYard. Hang on, I don't want to enter the studio. No, that's a bad idea. Then there'll be two of me here and it'll be echoey. That's a very bad idea. No, I'm not doing that. Retreat. Okay, back there. Fine. Okay. Just the zero thing is freaking me out, mate. Right? Freaking me out. Don't do my head in. Right? It is. It's doing my head in. I don't tell you. It's doing my head in. Anyway. Wedding. Right. So we go. It's like an hour drive. I'm like, I've got to get my suit. Don't and get dressed. Oh, pain in the car. It takes a long time. Also, it was nice to hang out with my wife for a bit, though. That's nice. Get the schmook. Excellent. Absolutely. However, for some reason, I can't work out why, right? And I'm looking at it going, yeah, I'm right about this. It's built on the side of a freaking mountain. I felt like, no, this more, how did it? I don't think I had it. There you go. But not, there you go. Like on the side of a mountain like that. I feel like I'm in a James Bond villain's lair. It's weird, right? It's like, and then the schmook is normally you have like one big area and you go from like bit to bit. You have this station and that station. You have sushi here and you have like meat there and you have like soup there. Definitely, this was freaking awesome. It was set up like kind of a street market. It looked gorgeous, right? And the food was like, but you're going like it's like this long windy path because you're on the side of a mountain. Why am I on the side of a mountain at 11 o'clock on a Friday when I should be doing the laundry? Is what's going on in my head, right? So then the wedding starts. The wedding normally takes about 20 minutes, half hour, 40 minutes at a super long one, right? What it is, if you ever seen a Jewish wedding, there's this like a canopy the bride and groom and the whole like wedding party stands under, and you have the rabbi. They say 7 blessings. The bride walks around the groom like 7 times. It's very cute. It's very like it was always very cute. And there's like singing in the middle, and this one, because this one was like an hour and a half. I felt like maybe longer. I don't know, like an hour and a half. And I'm not exaggerating. It was like, thankfully there's a long windy path, so I could see it far down the path. So I just walked back to where the schmook was, right? And there was a comfy chair. I was like, I'm sitting here. I'm in the comfy chair, right? I am in the comfy freaking chair. I like the comfy chair. Not the comfy chair. The same. Yes, the comfy chair. Anyway, it goes on forever. Like, oh God, I'm like, why? Like, I want to leave by 1 because I really got a lot to do, right? I got to get out of there, right? And I'm like watching the time go. It was like 11:30, 12. I'm like, hell. So after the ceremony, then everybody goes into like this, goes to eat. You have the festive meal. If it's a Jewish festival, celebration, it has food, right? Food is a very big aspect of it, right? So you go in and you have a table number and you sit down. However, by some weird logistic insanity, right? We're in a room, and there's the roof is like this clear plastic tarpaulin. I can't tell if it's permanent or not. And over there, where there's no tables and chairs, plenty of shade. Right? That's fine. We're like in the Great Escape. We're in the cooler. It was crazy. I was like, oh, I'm gonna die. And the food was good. I was keeping there, but I couldn't keep going for long. Eventually, I'm like, no, I can't do this. I went to the bathroom, right? The bathroom was awesome. Air conditioned one. I'm like, can we bring the party into the bathroom? All the best bits of the party are always in the bathroom, right? Anyway, fine. So like, I'm like, well, I think we got to go, right? So I climb again because the one on the side of a mountain, I got to climb a mountain of bloody stairs to get to start to walk to the exit. So I climb the mountain of stairs. All right, and then I finally there's a comfy chair there. A couple of waiters are having smoking some weed. I'm like, these are my men. I think I might be able to relate to them. So I go and sit down with them, and then they're replaced by. It's the reason that the chuppah, the ceremony was so long is because the kid is like what we call Hasidish, right? It's like a very like emotional form of Judaism where they can do lots of jumping and singing. It's funny. My wife said I looked at that kid's his local friends, right? And it's really nice. They all keep their original local friends, including we got this guy. It's called the Chevra, right? The group. You have the local friend. So one guy is like super gay now, like just like which is weird in a Orthodox Jewish community, yeah, but it's like not just super out, right? Wearing heels and stuff. And like, God bless him. I love the kid. I really do. I think I've always liked him, right? Anyway, I digress. So I don't know how we actually got to that point, but we probably got there for a valid reason. Remember talking about the bathroom at one point? Yeah, okay, that was true. That was good. Anyway, so the smoking. So he's in this Hasidic yeshiva, rabbinical ceremony, which is where the kids go. Okay, you know why the zero is freaking me out? Because I use that as a guide about what I'm talking about, right? If it goes up, starts going down, I know, I'll move on to something else. Nobody's freaking interested in this, right? So now I think it's doing okay. I mean, it says I've got live viewers. Let me refresh the window. It's just doing my head in, right? It's just purposely doing my head in. It's interesting right now. The viewership is split equal between Rumble and YouTube. Can you hit the like button on both, everyone? Oh, hang on. I'm on Rumble right now. If I click this, I think I can make you into a moderator. Can I do that? No, I don't want to mute you. Can I manage? No, I don't want to move. How do I make you into a moderator? Oh, that's annoying. Hey, that's the rub with Rumble, mate. Right? That's the rub with Rumble. It should be as easy as YouTube. How can I make Darren into a moderator? If I just clicked on your name. Does that do anything? No. So this is the point. We're at the wedding. We're going to get to Rumble. We're going to explain everything. But the zero's throwing me off, right? The zero's throwing me off, right? How's it doing on Twitter? Which is, again, part of the reason I want to talk to you tonight. So I'm at the wedding. The wedding was super long because it's this very singy thing. This very singy and dancey, like I call it faggy, quite frankly. Like, not for me. Whatever. God bless them. But less faggy than the super gay kid. Oh yeah, because we're talking about the friends stay friends, which I think is very nice, right? And also I think because people go different directions in life, they stay friends, right? It keeps reminding you that everyone is human. And even if they have a different outlook from you, if they have a different life, if they believe the polar opposite of you remember they're your mate when you're a kid, right? And I think that's so good for us, right? It's so important to remember. Alan Dershowitz, who said, I think he's absolutely right, we've moralized our political differences, right? And then we went on to make everything political, right? So, and it's a tragedy. It really is an absolute tragedy, in my opinion. Anyway. Where we are. So finally we get home. Okay. Oh god. After being in like the sweat box, that was insane. Right? It was crazy. They bought a bucket of ice. I nearly put my head in it. We were all literally like Steve McQueen in The Great Escape, right? I'm not the bit where he's like shot down trying to jump over the barbed wire to get out. They let us out. Okay, they let us out. I'm going to move for a bit of Great Escape now. That's like they need to remake. By the way, okay, a movie they need to make. A movie they need to make is there was quite a good movie, not brilliant. It was overcomplicated for its own good. Was Dunkirk, right? Now it was. I like the storytelling expansion. Trying to tell stories different way. Trouble is with Christopher Nolan though is it's getting too much work to access. Like I think Tenet might have been a good movie, but I got to watch it a couple more times, and I just don't want to put the time into it. Right? I really don't. 1 second. Let me just we do 1644 movie they need to make. Okay, good. I need to remember that. Fine, because this is going to tie into the point of this conversation. Anyway. Movie they need to make. Right, yeah, Dunkirk. Dunkirk was quite a good movie, right? It's a bit too complicated for its own good. They had this one great plot thread in it, which was Tom Hardy as a Spitfire pilot. Tom Hardy is awesome in freaking everything, no matter what he does. So another movie they need to make, right? Stephen Knight, could you please make a Alfie Solomon's movie? Because, I was like the Jewish gangster, right? I loved all that, okay? I have to tell you, that was like one of my favorite moments of television ever, right? Your Jewish gangster in Peaky Blinders. So I would love to see that standalone movie made for Netflix, like the Luther movie. We will be reviewing that tonight. Anyway, because I've tried for 3 nights and I keep failing. Anyway, I digress. We get home from the motherfucking wedding. Eventually, like about 3, I'm like, oh god. Kiss the ground. I feel like the Pope. Finally. But no peace actually, because now the if you turn the oven, the electric kit is blown. If there's one breaker down, or we have to work out what it is. It's the one for the oven. We're getting ready for Sabbath. We're making Sabbath. We're trying to make food for Sabbath, right? We need the oven to work. Anyway, where what was I at to? Fine, where we were. I get home. Yeah, the oven's not working. Right. So my wife said, "Can we just try it on a different socket?" I'm like, "That is not going to work. Don't be ridiculous. That is stupid." Fine. We'll give it, and it works. I'm like, okay. I guess I was wrong on that one. Thank God. Anyway, finally, I get downstairs to my office because I got shit I need to get done, baby. I need to entertain you. And now I have more ways to entertain you. But although my entertainment yesterday did screw up a little bit. Anyway, the point was Twitter Blue is in Israel. Hey. Yeah, exactly. I signed up for it, baby. I signed up for Twitter Blue straight freaking away. And I'm very excited to do so because I any day now, I'm going to have one of those little blue check marks, and I know that's going to make the douchebags of the world go crazy. And I know that's wrong. Anyway, wait, 1 second. I didn't tell you about the movie they need to make. I'll get back to that in a minute. Right, that's a shame because that was a good segment. We'll start that again because there's a movie they need to make. But I got Twitter Blue thing. So, Garbage actually contacted me on Facebook. Let me reply to him right now. Okay, that was very nice of him to contact me on Facebook to tell me this. Where is it? Let me go. Fine, so that I can record a voicemail. I'm going to send a voice clip. Okay. Garbage, how are you? Thank you very much for contacting me to let me know about this. I am on a live stream right now. I like to multitask. What can I tell you? I have good news. Yeah, so Garbage came along and told me that the Rumble app is not available in the UK. I'm like, really? How is it available in Israel? Or maybe it's not, actually. Maybe I downloaded it from the US app. So firstly, I think you can download it from the US App Store if you can access it. Secondly, you don't need to, because all my content's going right onto Twitter right now, right? My videos will be going onto Twitter. I'm going to make Twitter exclusive content for good reason. What's going on over there? This is... I'm recording this. I forgot I was recording that. Fine. So, yes, I am on Twitter, right? All my content will be going directly to Twitter because I have Twitter Blue. So my videos and all my live streaming is going straight to Twitter. Also Rumble. Also YouTube. And I love that YouTube is making itself irrelevant. It's fantastic. So, yeah, that's actually my big news. I mean, YouTube's kind of like my backup channel. It really is now. Because now it's Twitter and Rumble. That's where I think I'm going to post my videos, not my live streams, to Facebook as well. Because I don't see any need of keeping stuff exclusive to YouTube anymore. I see it's better not to. So, and YouTube, I'm not going to tell you, mate. Make yourself into a better platform for me. I'll focus on you. I have a feeling Twitter wants to be a better platform to me. I have a feeling that Rumble wants to be a better platform to me than you do, right? They seem to be doing better for me than you are, right? They certainly do. Oh, it's so much better. So yeah. So that, I mean, that's basically where things stand as they are right now. It's yeah, problems with control, says Darren M. You are right. You are correct. I will have to work it out. I will work out how to moderate you. Man, 1 second. Hang on. Can I do if I go to my channel, maybe? Manage? Can I? No, that just gives me the videos I can add. They're all on there. Videos, live streaming, chat, comments, mute, moderators. So add moderator. Okay, fine. Then I'll get your username, which is Darren My. Rocking the max headroom, and I paste you into that. Add moderator. Done, mate. It may take 10 minutes for the change to propagate across our systems. You do you, mate. You do you. So anyway, as I said, my content's going to be completely available now on Twitter and Rumble, right? As well as YouTube. I mean, you'll still be able to get me on YouTube. Who gives a shit? I mean, it's so good. They're making themselves so irrelevant, and it's so wonderful. It really is absolutely, genuinely wonderful that YouTube is. I mean, again, I get 3 times the views on Rumble. I accidentally streamed something to Twitter on Friday, right? Did very well. It wasn't a live stream, it was a video, right? But it got about 80% of the views it got on YouTube, right? So again, I think the more video content I put onto Twitter, which I'm making anyway, right? But the more I put in there, I think the more they're going to promote it and promote my my content. So okay, again, whoever wants to suck my dick the best, I will work for. I think that's basically in the rule of humanity throughout time. So anyway, so we got a lot to get to. We have a lot to get to. Well, firstly, a movie they need to absolutely make, right? A movie they need to absolutely make. And it is not the Alfie Solomon's movie, the Jewish gangster from Peaky Blinders. Best bit in Peaky Blinders. I loved all that. I loved the Passover Seder. I loved all the weird shit. I loved the Camden Town. That's where I went to school. Loved it, right? I loved it. I like Tom Hardy, one of my favorite actors, being Jewish. I was like, yeah, and I thought he pulled it off very well, right? I love Tom Hardy. I think absolutely fantastic. Don't think he'll be good for James Bond, but I do think he's absolutely fantastic. So yeah. So so not the Alfie Solomon's movie, which I really would like to see. Do it like as I said, Luther, which we will be reviewing tonight. And that'll be fan. Debbie Dozy put it straight on Netflix. I think will be great. I think that'd be perfect, right? But that's not the movie I'm talking about. I was talking about Dunkirk. Dunkirk is a movie somewhat too complex for its own good. I mean, I haven't seen it on TV, but the aerial flying sequences in the cinema were breathtaking. I mean, it was genuinely breathtaking. Just fantastic, absolutely fantastic. No, absolutely, just adored that. And all that bit was Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy's sequence was as the fighter pilot. So he ends up at the end of it. He crashes in Dunkirk. He sacrifices himself so somebody or other can get away. I can't remember. It was just wonderful. It was done with genuine heroism, right? It was like not done. Yeah, it wasn't. If he sold that he was not happy, this was happening, right? Absolutely sold it, but fantastic. So he ends up he lands on Dunkirk as the Germans swarm him. He puts a flash into his Spitfire so they don't get the technology or whatever. They get the and he's captured, right? He's a prisoner of war. Great escape, baby. Tom Hardy. I want to see a Tom Hardy prisoner of war, World War II prisoner of war movie. Maybe The Great Escape, right? I mean, wouldn't that be just an optimistic movie to make? Well, they all died, really, didn't they? Apart from who was it? Hannibal Lecter, not Hannibal Lecter, the guy who tried to get him. What's the name? Okay, fine. Not Hannibal Lecter. Halloween movies. It was the he was in the first one, I think. Donald Pleasance. Yes, I am Donald Pleasance, and I am insane. Donald Pleasance, right? He was the only one who survived, wasn't it? Didn't James Garner? How did James Garner go down? I can't remember. Steve McQueen was in the barbed wire over the Swiss Alps, yeah. But yeah, that's what we need to see. We need to see a Tom Hardy-led World War II prisoner of war movie, maybe The Great Escape remake. Oh, yes, we want to see that. We want to see that. And the Alfie Solomon's movie. Okay, please, pretty please, can you do that for us? That'll be fantastic. Double dozy. Fine. That's an example of the song I will cut out as content for what we got for the Twitterats. There we go. Doink, and for Facebook as well. There we go. Let's have a look. Now I have to apologize. I keep not getting to the headline article. Okay, I keep not getting the headline article because it's basically irrelevant. I'll read it. Hopefully I'll get it, but it's basically irrelevant. Picard is the thing we need to talk about. Luther's the thing we need to talk about. I'd rather talk about Mando. I wouldn't mind talking about the the monsters now. I mean, I look, I like that Cybermen. I like, right? I thought the Chibnall Cybermen were good. I like the headset. I like the chunkiness of it. It had like the feeling of Revenge of the Cybermen, right? It really gave that kind of vibe. I think it's one of the. And listen, in an era so bad, you notice the successes, right? I do think so. So I like the Cybermen, I have to tell you. But because we need to talk about, I'm not joking. I literally cried twice doing getting the screen grabs together to do the review. I was like entranced. It was wonderful. It's so good, right? So now, how many episodes is Picard? Picard season 3. Picard, Jean-Luc Picard, get over here. Oh, we all talk like this way down France way. Yeah. I think it's 8 episodes. Episode 7 is called Dominion. Crippled, cornered, and anarchic, Picard stages a gambit to trap Vadic and reveal her true motive. Man, yeah, she's really up the ante into a fantastic villain. I mean, just 10 parts. So here's my trouble with it, right? I got to think of another 4 things for Picard to be holding in these thumbnails, right? It's very, very hard, right? I got to work out how to do that. I always think maybe I'll go for the dildo. The dildo always makes me laugh. Maybe we'll do that. I don't know. But then, it might get blocked. It's maybe it's not a good move. I don't know. Anyway, I digress. Fine. So we are going to talk about Picard. We're going to talk about Luther. Maybe we'll talk about Mando. I think we'll probably get there. I haven't actually looked at the headlines. We'll look at those as well. See what's going on. But let's get the chat first, okay? Is it me, or is Elizabeth Olsen becoming a young Kim Cattrall? I could be. Look, neither of them really, do much for me. I have to tell you. So I can't really comment. I'm in the middle of glooming or folk horror series set in Tasmania. Well, okay, never heard of it. There's a great Aboriginal actor from Mystery Road in it. Okay, you might be able to find it in Israel, Rabbi. What's it called again? In the middle of glooming of a folk horror. Of glooming. I think I've heard of the glooming. I'll try and find it. I will try and locate it. Thank you, Matthew Burrows. All right, that was Jordan Lee. This is Matthew Burrows. Mr. Jekyll and Hyde is here. Is it me, just me, or the 85 minutes way cooler than the odd say? Yeah, they were cooler in the 80s, right? I mean, look, their reinvention in Earthshock was fabulous. I mean, there's no question. I mean, like, before Earthshock, it was Revenge of the Cybermen, I think, was the last one before that, right? Yeah. Season 12. We didn't see the Cybermen again until Earthshock. Right, been a long time, right? Because they kind of they were outdated until somebody found a flight suit and spray painted silver, right? That redesign of it, I think, epitomized by it coming through the door and being sealed there by one of the greatest moments in Doctor Who. Oh, I loved it. With Beryl Reid. Oh, fucking awesome. And then they just blow up the bomb to get through it, of course. They are. I mean, that story was so good. It left a big shadow. Unfortunately, Attack of the Cybermen was not as good, right? Silver Nemesis also not as good, but I think their Cyberman design was excellent. Yeah. I think the Cyberman design is so. Yeah, I love yeah, but again, you really need a good story to go with it, right? I think a good story augments the Cyberman design quite considerably. I mean, like, Tomb of the Cybermen are so great because they're Tomb of the Cybermen, right? That's basically why. You need a great cyber story to go with it, right? That's what I would say. Anyway, we certainly haven't had a great cyber story, right? In the modern era. Best probably is the Christmas one. What's it called again? Next Doctor. But they were. I mean, I like the cyber appearance with Rory at the beginning of season 5 or 6.6b. But that was about it. There hasn't been a really good cyber story. I don't know. One second. Let's look at Cybermen stories. Cybermen stories. Okay, we'll just go to the modern era one. Yeah, Rise of the Cybermen, Age of Steel. Yeah, not that great. Next Doctor, Army of Ghosts and Doomsday. Also, Next Doctor, the best one, yes. Pandorica opens there in the background. Goodman Goes to War there in the background. Closing Time, they were crap. Nightmare in Silver, they were nearly good, but they couldn't really put it together. Time of the Doctor in the background. Dark Water, Death in Heaven, they were kind of like in the background. Oh! World Enough in Time and the Doctor Falls. That's a very good yeah. Yeah, but there isn't a Cyberman design for that, which is why, yeah. But I think World Enough in Time and Doctor Falls is a great that is a great cyber story. In fact, that's probably the best Cyberman design in the modern era, isn't it? Isn't that weird? That's really strange, but it's true, right? I got to note that down. That's not the discussion we got to clip out. Best Cyberman 5. Fine. Let's keep going through the chat. It's good at the moment, so Sidemen so badly, says Matthew Burrows. They should have had the alternate Earth Sidemen once, maybe. They were cooler when they looked deadly. Now Sidemen are variants of the Cyber's design. That's why. 1 second. What was it? The Doctor Falls Cybermen. I would say that the Cybermen got worse when they introduced the newer versions of them. Here, let's pull out some. Yeah, look, okay, fine. I'm going to show you the cyber design. It is good. I'm sorry, it's really good. There's one, and it's good because it's Earthshock. I'm not Earthshock. It's 10th Planet. Here, 1 second. Let's open these up. I mean, that's good. That is good. That's creepy, that's scary, and the way they built them up is really scary, right? Yeah, weirdly, the best Cybermen of the modern era were the 10th Planet ones. That is just strange. But it's true. It's very bizarre. And the whole thing with Martha coming... not Martha. Bill Potts coming aside, men, I thought was very good. Yeah, I really did. Anyway, and his mother tried to sort it out. That is true. That is true. Luther was great. There's so much crap on Netflix. It has really gone down in the last 2 years. Well, yeah, look, I think it's starting to turn around now. Everything's starting to turn around now. Greens and facilitation, says Matthew Barr. Not Matthew Barr, says Darren M. Gary Moffat essentially canonized Doctor Who's Star Trek graphic novel, making the Cybermen control and upgrade a Borg system. Somebody come up with something different, right? Jonathan Cox is here. How you doing, Jonathan Cox? See, once somebody comes up with something good that sticks, you'll forget everything else gets, kind of eclipsed, right? I mean, that's what I mean. Tomb of the Cybermen. The 5 Doctors, even though the Cybermen were kind of like just extras in that Carnival, they were awesome. The Rastan Warrior robot versus they were awesome, right? Live at 8. It's only 6. What, 6 o'clock for you? Where are you? In the UK? That's weird. That's it. 1 second. That's why I might be confused. 1 second. Current UK time. Get out of here. How is that? It's 6. Okay, I just don't understand. I don't understand. I'm too confused, right? The time zone's doing my head in, okay? Oh, that's what's going on. Fine. Mark the Vicar, thank you for explaining. I had no idea. Is that on the rugby? I don't know what we're talking about. BBC have gone downhill big time. YouTube 7 likes 5. Yeah, Rumble 2 likes. Yeah, please like on Rumble. No, I get that. That's what I was saying. I'm doing my head in. Rabbi, can 2 Jewish men get married? No, I mean not in Orthodox law. Yeah, it's in Orthodox Jewish law. Marriage is between man and woman. Right? Men can get married to multiple wives, but that was stopped about 1,000 years ago. I don't see it coming back. Okay. Right. Yeah. No, it's actually a real question is this. There's the general mark of respect, like handshake, top of the hat, in Judaism is you say on Saturdays, on Saturday morning in the prayers, you read a different section. You serialize the Bible, the Old Testament, every week, right, from the giant Torah scroll, right, written in Hebrew, and it's broken into 7 sections, right? And you say, somebody comes up and says a blessing on each one. It's a big deal, right? So the question is the openly gay guy, if he wanted let's say he comes from a sister's getting married or something, right? And it's and he wanted that they wanted to give him that what's it called? It's called a keyboard. It's a mark of respect, right? Would that be allowed? Let alone think now. I would say yes. I know others would say no. I would say yes. What to tell you? I don't think any of us has seen that bloke have sex. It's like, but we did see I think as great or greater desecration of Jewish law by the prime religious official in a synagogue more than one time. So and that's just factual. So I don't see any way you could say no to that kid if you turned a blind eye, which they all did, to that bloke, right? And they turned a blind eye. He's destroyed his career. He's unemployable, right? But like they all just pretend it didn't happen. It's very strange. Philip Bogart is here. How you doing? So yeah. So that's how much two men can't get married. Philip Bogart, that's not becoming his own segment, let me tell you. Philip Bogart is here. How you doing, Philip Bogart? Russell Girl's daughter was a terrible villain. Yes, but rather hot, right? Rather hot. I think we can all agree with that. I'm not fond of Nolan Batman, says Gareth Morgan. Legend Joker was interesting, but in general, I was not fond of him. Yeah, I just think they should do all movies like the Batman series now and just like reboot it. Every new few movies. Like just do like Christopher Nolan's Batman. I'm fine with. I would like to see the Darren. I think you could do concurrent different Batmans as well. I would like to see the Aronofsky Black Batman when he's like not rich and he works as a Batmobile from a mechanic. I would just like to see other people's creative vision of that. See, I feel that Star Trek Strange New Worlds is somebody else's creative vision, riff on Star Trek, right? Where I feel that Picard is very much Next Generation. Philip does do Twitter. Okay, so you get you have Rumble and YouTube. Okay, that's the best I can tell you, mate. But YouTube's the most dodgy one, in my opinion. Batman has been overdone at this point. The trouble is, Mr. Jekyll and Hyde, that it hasn't been. Like, the only time we've really seen Batman be Batman was Ben Affleck, right? Or there's been a couple of good fan films, right? I would like to see a Batman movie with Batman, like a comic book Batman being a comic book Batman, right? I would love to see that. And like we never have, right? And I would very much like to see that. BD Richards here. Last ever card full of Starship porn. Oh, God, it was. Give me a big old Picard. I cried twice. I'm not joking. I literally cried twice. And I think it's from, yes, it has all the member bearers. Not getting to it yet. We had all the member bearers. But the writing is brilliant, right? I was discussing a scene with my wife today and she really got... I will get to it when I get to it, right? That'll be my first stop, Picard, because it's so freaking awesome, right? Thank God the clocks are going forward tonight. That's what's messing me up, right? So now you're 3 hours behind. I thought you were 1 hour behind. That's what's messed me up. That must be why I got 0 views and people are watching. I put the wrong time on. That's it. Yeah, it's doing my head in, right? It's totally doing my head in. Attack is flawed. Yes, attack is flawed, sadly. Okay, in my fantasy world, what I'd rather have than Attack of the Cybermen is I love the idea where you have they were going to use this in season 27, right? Where you had like a crime lord has his private army anti-alien division, right? And so this leaves a lot of interesting possibilities. So I'd like to do it like the Cybermen one, and they're about to get killed by Cybermen at the end of the first episode. Basically, make the first episode roughly similar, right? And they're rescued by the crime lord, right? And then you fight, and then basically he's stranded there all season. TARDIS isn't working. They have an uneasy alliance. He goes on robberies to get bits of the TARDIS, that sort of thing. And but to make sure nobody gets hurt. But so again, you center it very, very, in a contemporary way. But anyway, that was the basic idea. And then the final story is you go back in time and you see how they met for the first time, right? And where the Doctor knows what's going on, but the crime lord doesn't. I just thought that that would be much my preferred version of Attack of the Cybermen, right? That something like that. The Doctor Falls was amazing. That was really excellent. Bring back the Cyberman for Gat. Well, I do agree, right? Era. Really take information from the Dark Dimension concept. That was awesome. The skeletal one, yeah, it broke my heart. That never happened. Oh, yeah, too. Bobby D75 is here. I forgot I was supposed to read who's here. DC is here. It's my one job. It's my one job. If you didn't know, the view count worker isn't working. If you came in late, my view count worker, it says I'm at 0, and I use that. I didn't realize how much I use it. I use it to work out when to move from segment to segment. Okay, so I'm flying blind. Em is here. How you doing, Em? Hello to PD Rich. Bobby D75 is here. Okay, before we move on, wrapping up the news, I have been Twitter verified. I am Twitter blue, baby. All my content is going on Twitter, as well as Rumble, as well as YouTube. My videos will be going on to Facebook, and if I get back to making shorts, which I probably will, they'll go on Instagram if I can work out how to. They'll probably go on Facebook, and they'll probably go on Twitter as well. They get everything. Okay, but Twitter is like the place where you can get everything. I couldn't believe, right, that you couldn't get the Rumble app in England. That's just retarded. Like, how stupid do they have to be? It really is. I'm just like, if anybody has a retarded relative, son, brother, whatever, I don't mean that. God's sake. Minute Cloakery. By the way, you mentioned Starship porn. Yes, there was. But we might actually show a clip. It was freaking incredible. Absolutely freaking incredible. Gary became the Gary 7 Collective somehow. Oh, you forget him. Was he even in it? Oh, Wesley Crusher. Yeah, I hope it. Yeah, I think he kind of wrote himself out, didn't he? Was he in Picard? See, this is how forgettable it is, right? I get totally forgettable. Picard season 2, episode Farewell. The instant Star Trek nemesis, he rejoined the Travelers, traveling across space and time. In the year 2024, he approaches Kursung and reveals that he and his fellow travelers are responsible for creating super. Okay, all this is just shit writing. Leave me alone with it. Let's instead talk about very, very good writing, which I think is the hallmark of Star Trek Picard. I mean, even though it's literally full of member bearers, right? It's member bearers left, right, and bloody center. I forgot to do something. We got to open the wrong file, so we got to go over here. Doink. And we go. Where is it? Where'd it go? There we go. Doink and doink. There. Fine. So let's open this up. Doink. Okay. Picard season 3. I call it Picard the final season because I will not sully. I will not pretend there's seasons 1 and 2, right? Because there's not seasons 1 and 2. This is the only thing that's really happened since I wouldn't even say Nemesis. I would say Insurrection. Over Insurrection into this, and this, I have to say, is the best next gen I've ever seen. It is absolutely the absolute best next gen I've ever seen. It's firing on member bearers level. It's firing on writing level. It's very good. It's very, very, very high quality. But if you're completely off your box, right? If you're stoned off your bloody mind, you go whoosh! Oh yeah, this is for look. I don't advocate the doing of drugs, kids. I do not advocate that. But here we go. Oh, okay. Now, I worked out why my views on Rumble are much lower than normal. Right? It's because I came on 2 hours before I tried it out. Right? That's what's going on. So normally they promote it a lot more. Oh, that's up to 50 views right now. It's pretty good. Let's compare that to the YouTube. So I never look at the stats as I'm doing this. I just rely totally. Yeah, it's double YouTube already. Incredible. Rumble and Twitter is where you can find me, right? You can find me here as well until they give me a copyright strike, right? Or not a copyright strike, or a community strike. It's so great not to have to rely on YouTube. It's really freaking awesome. Anyway, whoosh, right? Where we're in Star Trek, the good Star Trek land. Boom, and we're right into it. And in the tradition of all good Star Trek, see, I would say this is really weirdly mirroring the beats of Star Trek 2, 3, and 4, right? And at least thus far, right? Is it going to do? I mean, because Star Trek 4 is much more comedic. Will it go into that by the end? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I'm unfortunately pissed through Q, right? In season 2, which like it would be so great to have him in a good season. Anyway, so they're on the run. The Titan is on the run. And they're like the Federation has been taken over by changelings. These are super changelings that even when you cut them, they still bleed. They have internal organs, and you've really got to like work hard to make them not appear to be human. It's better mirroring Star Trek 4 than season 2 did. Yeah, absolutely. Forget everything before this is all new, right? If you've never seen Picard, it doesn't matter. In fact, don't. That will be bad, right? That will be bad. So yeah, they're on the run from the Federation. So this is, you're going to see a lot of Federation on Federation action in this episode. So they're leaving these boys apparently everywhere to make people think, whoosh, a starship shows up. To make everything to hide where they are, right? Whoosh! Work out they have 3 couple. I like they have 3 different. I love they listen. They have different design starships at last, right? Yeah, and then also Valek's looking for him. I love that she smokes, by the way, right? That's awesome. That's a really interesting trait I've never seen before. So Valek, that's her name. They're looking for her like, where are they, right? And she has a great soliloquy where it's where you find out a lot about her, like her character, who she is, what's going on with her, what her motivation is. And she's just like, when is this over? We would have peace again. We'd have to link again. It'll be over, right, at last. Because as I forgot how they ended Deep Space Nine, the Dominion War. They basically had a biovirus they gave them, as I recall. Yeah, they mentioned it in this episode, right? And I know Close and find Picard's son before. Yeah, they're also looking for him, right? He and for once, it's not a little girl who's the key to everything. He's the key to everything. What is he? Is he a Palwraith? My mind is on Palwraith right now. A Palwraith hiding inside Jet Crusher, right? That's what I think. We have the titles again. Great villain now, literally like a Khan level villain, really earning her paycheck in my mind, right? Like a Khan level villain, and interesting backstory now, right? And I do like her motivation, right? It's like you understand her sheer hatred of humanity a little bit more. So fine, whoosh, we're in the Picard. And yeah, the reason I show the total card is they've earned it. I say every week, and they have. They absolutely have. Fine. The bounty. Oh, God. Everything about this is right. Right? Everything is like just a beautifully considered note, right? And I went, what's this got to do with Star Trek 4? Which is, of course, what Bones named the Klingon bird of prey that they stole, and they decided to go back in. Was it Star Trek 3 is when Chekhov was dressing as a page boy. That was very strange. Great special effects. I mean, finally, at fucking last, the potential of the age is being realized, right? Absolute top-rate special effects making good fucking TV. Oh, only took you 5 years to start screaming at Trump, you miserable cunts. Good God. Oh, literally. And can I just point out, you were wrong about fucking everything, morons. Oh, don't be so confident in your own bloody opinions when you're fucking wrong about fucking everything. How do we know you're wrong about everything? Have you seen Picard season 3? Yeah, they call it the final season. They don't want to connect it at all to the rest because it's shit and everybody hates it. Oh, I digress. And oh yeah, so she's like, oh, there's something wrong with me at the end of it. Yeah, scream about Trump won't work a second time. Well, we saw that last week with Sue's, didn't we? The Sue's debacle. If you don't, they wheeled out a trailer for this Doctor Who thing. It's a piece, and it was a piece of shit. And the woman's like a political activist, and she's like, "Oh, you just hate me because of my politics and trans people." Oh, fuck off. Oh, it didn't go down. She had her ass handed her over and over again. Quite rightly so. Anyway, so yeah, at the end of the last episode, Jack Crusher, who goes psycho every now and again and shoots people in the head, so that's like very wrong with me. They're scanning his brain, and he's got Irremotic syndrome, which is what Picard had, right? It's really interesting though, because the whole thing with the android body, they're really leaning into rather than avoiding it, and they are really leaning into it, I believe, to retcon it right now, which I think is part of this episode. So he's like, fuck. Essentially. He's like, yeah. So he's back in the guidance set, right? Yeah, they want to use the spot. Okay, fine. And Jack Kaiser is drowning in sorrows. There's a little bit of connection between them before Raffi and Wolf show up, and it's awesome. Raffi, look, okay. Raffi is baggage from the previous era, but again, if you've never seen it, she's fine. Right? Forget everything about it. And they even don't bring up the lesbianism that much. They just like kind of like nod at it a little bit, and it's fine. Right? And it's like rather everything is better. Right? And they're all happy to see each other. Somebody mentioned there are too many Starfleet uniforms. I do agree. Right? Find one and stick to it. Right? Irremotic syndrome bit is the only thing I don't like. There was actually Q moving him through time. Okay, it was a member berry, essentially. Lovely little scene. They said, I know you do not like the hug. Yes, and Beverly hugs him. It's lovely, right? It is lovely. Everything about this is lovely. That's the other thing. You don't see that on TV that often anymore. Everything about this is actually very nice. Where are we up to? And then so they're talking about it's 7 or 9 meets Raffi. We're going to 69 in a minute. Really? Yeah, we are, but we can't right now. We're busy, right? We can't. And look, normally, if you can hit them with a de-aging gun, I would be up for that Star Trek. But we move on. Wolf says we have much to discuss. Whoosh, they go off of there. They keep warping places randomly so they can't get caught. So they say we need to break into the Daystrom Institute. We need to find out what was stolen there. But there is an AI protecting it. So I thought, and I was wrong, although I was not 100% wrong. This was going to be Moriarty, right? Moriarty was going to be protecting the thing. It's basically all their Black Ops stuff, which again, it's so different the way Kurtzman does it. Kurtzman, and if you go back and look at all this shit, it's all about that. This makes more sense. This feels in-universe Star Trek, right? So it's that certainly where they keep all their weapons. There's a ton of member bearers here. I hope to get Keith on, but he can't come on. Maybe because I had the time wrong. So what was up to? So he would recognize the things they reference there a lot when they get there. So they got to break in the Daystrom Institute. By the way, absolutely loving shot. He is fantastic in every scene he's got, right? So they're basically like setting up the job. Yeah, we got to get the AI. We'll break in. So they go to the Daystrom Institute. Boom! And I love that behind the moon, right? Seems very Star Trekky. And they about to go in, and she's like, "Okay, bye then. We'll have sex later." And Wolf's like, I understand lovers going into combat is bad. Would you like to join us? And she's like, no, says, oh, thank God, I really didn't want you to. Boom, they don't, but Riker's going along. One might call this one of Riker's finest hours. And so they're in, and they're like, please, what are you doing here? The Taste Institute. And they got to put the hack in, and they do, oh yeah, they got, that's the other thing. They got the hack how to get there from this awesome Klingon. The big innovation they've added to this iteration of Star Trek is very cool Star Trek Underground, right? Which really, I love the gangster rap Klingon. I love the Vulcan. I thought they were absolutely excellent, right? So that's a hack how they got in. That okay, you can come in. Meanwhile, two starships show up, right? And they're like, we got to get out of it. By the way, loving LaForge at the helm, and she has such a great scene this episode, right? Okay, fine, we got to leave you there for a couple of hours. I have an idea. We'll be right back. And they're like, and they're gone, right? I do like these two starships. Was it 2 or 3? Oh yeah, so they got to get out there ASAP, otherwise they're in trouble, and they're alone. Right, so so this looks like Genesis device. Actually says it, Genesis 2 device. There's the second one. Okay, what does this say here? Let me look. Let's have a look. Oh, I can't tell. Captain USS Enterprise. What do you reckon that is? Anybody know in the chat what that could be? I don't know. So Wolf sees is it Kirk's remains, do you think? Okay, fine, but why? But okay. Let's have a look. Why do they have Kirk's remains? There's an attack tribble. Must be an anti-Klingon weapon because they hate tribbles. They're terrified of tribbles. So they're looking at all the black holes. They're Wolf, and Riker pokes Wolf a little bit. He's like, oh, no, I prefer meditation instead. Meanwhile, they're being watched by the AI, and was it activating security measures? And then the security measures Moriarty, right? And you also have this music, the music, when I say, I love Moriarty. I assume Moriarty is the AI, because that's what I guessed, and I was wrong. But he's used by them to attack them. Meanwhile, Titan goes. I forgot, important plot point at the end of the Vedic scene, which was excellent, right? She was fantastic in that scene. Talking about her, she says, we have to find anything, any place they'll go, any place they'll find comfort, and stop them. So they go to Starfleet Museum, which is the original Starbase, which is so fucking good, right? I love that, right? With all these cool it's lots of starship porn, and fuck me, it's awesome. Okay, it's all awesome, right? It's all very good. They held the Commodore, who is LaForge, right? LaForge is like, I am not happy to see you. Okay, I am not happy. Look, we got another fucking uniform, right? LaForge is like, okay, I'll come, but he's not happy, right? LaForge beams on with his daughter. This is the real LeVar Burton's daughter, quite hot, if I may say so. And so they're happy to see each other, right? He's like, listen, you're being hunted by Starfleet. I'm gonna. You can get out of it now and turn yourself in, essentially. And he's like, George is like, you can't do this. This is like out of line. Meanwhile, her daughter is like the permanent secretary. Again, pretty darn hot, if I may say so. Meanwhile, back at Data Institute, right? They're taking on Moriarty, and there's weird music playing, right? It's a challenge, right? And so this is such a great scene. This is such an awesome scene where they Riker's working it out. You go da da da. He's like, where have I heard that tune before? Da 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 da. He's like playing it like theatrically in the background. and you cut to encountering Farpoint. And it looks so right. It looks like so in universe the same thing. Here, 1 second. All right, I love this Riker working it out. Here, 1 second. I crop those pictures. Right, it's like I've heard that before, right? And and he's remembering the first time he saw Data, and so he goes, bum, da, 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 right, and it turns off the security measures, right? And they go into the AI, the central AI, and it's again a Riker sees him. You don't believe it's going to be Data, right? Spoiler alert. You don't believe it could possibly be Data. But of course, and yes, beautiful, fucking beautiful. This scene where he's right, and first time he sees Data, and he sees it now. It is just a wonderful, not just emotional payoff to see him again, because we've seen him again quite a few times, right? It's it's wonderful to see him with the character moment between Riker and Data, and there's a lot of that in this episode, right? There's a hell of a lot of that in this episode. A real understanding of what is good character, right? So there's a Data there. Okay, he's not awake, right? He's not an awake Data, but he's a Data. What's going on with Data? So this is where the so they cut back to here, and he's like, we put my daughter in danger. So his other daughter says, look, I'll try and work it out. Meanwhile, we get a nice little riff striking up between that's not yet, but we had a little riff striking up with Jack Crusher and LaForge. I love it. Okay, pure starship porn right now, right? Well, you see the Defiant, a wonderful. That is the Defiant, isn't it? So, there we go. No, I hate it when it does that. I mean, it's certainly a Defiant class ship. You can't really see. You was that maybe. I think it's probably Defiant. I mean, why not? Right? And then you see original Constitution class ship. I love these, right? They're absolutely gorgeous. And then you see Kirk ship, NCC 1701A. Lovely, right? Because the original one blew up. And then you go and see there's Voyager there. And there's a nice character moment with Seven. So that was my home for many years, right? And she was very warm to it. And then you see a bird of prey, and this episode is called Bounty. You go, oh, please. Oh, yes. Yes, please. It'll be wonderful. I love the way they fudge out the virtually undefined. Yes, I know. So anyway, they're like, what's Data doing here? But Riker is just ecstatic to see his old friend, right? And that's palpable from the performance, right? It genuinely is. It's lovely, right? It's really lovely. And you don't really notice he's an aged Data. He's like, what's going on? And so they pull up this recording, and it's essentially a Noonien Sung. I think I remember when they met Law, they met Noonien Sung at some point, like a very old version of him. So I think after they met him, he decided to make he wanted Data to be like a vessel for his consciousness. He thought that was wrong. So instead, he wanted to have progeny. He wanted to make a new Sun Sung. Okay, but he wanted to make a new like a new life from old life. So it's basically his personality, Data, Law, and Before. All in the same body, but they haven't been integrated together yet, right? They can't really do it yet. So at that point, you absolutely know that it's going to be about Brent Spiner doing, a Rolodex of Data characters, which, fuck me, yes. Yeah. Anyway, yes, back on the Titan. So LaForge and Picard are warming up a little bit. And well, his daughter's like saying, "Look, I'm going to try and calm him down." So fine. So they find out what it is, and these are all the different data personalities. But they can't integrate them yet, right? So they figure if they get them back to Titan, they can. And he's like, listen, I gotta take my daughter with me. Go do what you want. I'm not going to stop you, but I've got to come and take back home with us. And she's like, has a great scene together, right? And he says, "You got to do it." And she's like, and it is a great scene. This I was talking to my wife today about. It's a very Star Trek-y thing. We're going to go on the run. We're going to risk everything. We're going to do it for friendship. We're going to do it for loyalty. We're going to do it for right. We're going to do it for wrong. To stop something that's wrong. We're going to do it to save everything. We're putting everything on the line because everything is on stake. That's a very Star Trek-y thing, right? Essentially Star Trek 4, essentially Star Trek 3 with the stealing the Enterprise. They put everything on the line, right? We've seen it again. That is pure Star Trek to me, right? And she's like, it's my crew. I'm staying with them. I am doing this, right? And you would do the same if you were younger. And we know he would do the fucking same because we've seen him do the same, right? We've seen him do the same along. And it's an amazing because you see, this is him with the weight of generations, right? The weight of responsibility on his shoulder, right? For decades. He's married. He's got children, right? He's not as ready to take risks. He knows what loss is, right? And his daughter's like, you can't deny me what you would do yourself, right? And it just is a wonderful scene. It's just, I'm staying, right? And they're like, oh yeah. So then we have this little thing spark up between Jack and what's the name? LaForge, Sydney, isn't it? LaForge. And they say, we've got an idea. Meanwhile, they want to take data with them, suddenly there's a big before that we have that awesome character moment with LaForge on the bridge with Shaw. Now Shaw, we've been with him 6 episodes. I know more about him than Michael Burnham. I know more about his character than Michael Burnham's insane, right? I liked the character though. I went from disliking him to liking him to understanding him to respecting him, right? To rooting for him, right? So yeah, PD says absolutely right. Shaw geeks out. He's like, because he's like a grease monkey in engineering. He's like, it's such an honor to have you on my bridge. I can't believe it, right? And the Forge is like, listen, normally I would geek out with you about it, but we can't tie now. But your ship is held together with tape and it shouldn't be running. It's brilliant. It's a testament to one of the most wonderful engineering jobs ever. And Shaw is like, oh my god. That was so good. That was excellent. Much like me, Shaw nearly cried. I did cry. Anyway, goes, and all of a sudden, there's an EM radiation goes through the ship. I said, what's going on? What's happening? And they've stolen the bird of prey's cloaking device, right? And there's brilliant character moment. Like, what? When they're like, what have you done? I said, we haven't done anything. And LaForge turns to Picard, and Picard turns to Picard and says, "It's Sydney, right?" And Picard turns to LaForge and says, "It's Jack, right?" And it exactly it is. And again, the pitch perfect comedy for Star Trek in my mind, right? Absolutely. It is absolutely right? I don't think there's any other way to describe it. So they're integrating it. It says, fine. We got to go. Yes, when he realizes it's his daughter, Sydney, right? Everyone's saying goes. So they're cloaked, and he goes down and says, fine, I know how to fix it. I'll turn it on. They have to escape, right? And what's the name? Shaw shows up in the cloaked Titan, which is awesome. And there's, what was it, 4 to beam out because they want to get data, so they're disconnecting data. And Starfleet's been alerted. Riker, I think, really at his heroic best. I mean, the only the only other great the only other time I remember Riker being this awesome, and you tell me if you can remember greater Riker moments in the chat or in the comments, right? Was the bit in Insurrection where he had well, firstly he had a joystick to control the Enterprise, but he said we're done running from these bastards, right? So and this is the same thing. He said he's going to stop the Starfleet security getting them because they're going to get there before time. So he's going to find them. So there's a great gun battle. Pew pew pew. Do you prefer the single long time laser from TNG or the pew pew pews? I hope we get to see a TNG style phaser at some point, right? But again, great pew pew pewing. This is fucking awesome. This effect shot, it gets better and freaking better. So you have I would show you the clip, but I'll probably get copyright struck, right? So it flies in, turning it's got a decloak and it's got to lower shields to beat people up. So flies in. And it flies underneath this one starship, like underneath one starship. Was it above another? Starship pulled like you haven't seen, right? Oh, it's wonderful, right? And they beam out home again, but Riker gets hit with the transport prohibitor, so he can't get out, and they just got to run, whoosh. And then we found the AI who knows all the answers to the question. They're there to find out what was stolen from the Daystrom Institute. I forgot to mention. And Data's there, right? And again, all the bullshit about Data and Picard in season 1. Who gives a shit? This is perfect. Geordi seeing Data again, and you see how it touches him, right? And I think he's kind of happy to be on the run as well. So he works to integrate Data. Look, great scene with Jack Crusher as well. So listen, I was always, all these good traits, but I was also these others, brave, and I was loyal, and I wondered where I got that from. I get it from you. It's lovely. Again, very Star Trek. It's really good. I like this character a lot. Well, I said this, I think last during the spoiler-free review when doing a young Picard, like a young brash Picard, it's the Kirk, right? You see he is the bridge between Kirk and Picard. So again, lovely scene, great actor. I think all this is working well. I think you could carry on with him, and then all the new characters you've introduced, right? So fine. So they've reintegrated Data. Is it going to work? Yes, of course it's going to bloody work, right? So in they come, and again, I cried the first time. Right? When did I cry the first time? We're at 236. I got to remember 236. I shit you not. I forgot to mention. I literally cried at this. Where was it? Yes, this scene, right? This scene with Riker seeing, you see him, and you don't see Data yet, right? Freaking awesome. You see him, and you see his memory, right, of seeing his friend for the first time, and it is beautiful. It is absolutely freaking beautiful, right? Let's go back. So anyway, so they're waking Data up. So I cried at that moment. I was crying when I told you about it just now, right? They reboot Data and wake up. And great. First he looks at Geordi and says, Geordi. And then, this is the second time I cried. He looks at Picard and says, Captain. I was like, yes, it's real fucking Data back. It's real Data. I love him. Oh, and it's, I can't believe how much I missed it, right? Can't believe how much I missed it. Yes. Patrick Stewart, that's how I feel, right? Absolutely. And so he's basically waking up and saying, blah, 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 blah. And he's, so essentially, leading into the synth body thing. This is essentially a synthetic organic body created by Soong that would age. So it will be like a real progeny, which is essentially why Brent Spiner can be old. Okay, that's essentially why. But I think they're going to do a strong correlation between Picard and Data, both being the edges of humanity, right? Both of which I find interesting. So they're saying. So then they're asking, what is it? What is it they're stolen from Daystrom, right? He goes into B4 for a bit. And then, oh yeah, then he's Law, and then he's Sung. Oh yeah, this is when he's Law. Then it's before, and then so who? What was it that stole it? And it, B4 says Picard, Jean-Luc Picard, and then what's he talking about? And then he projects out his remains, right? His actual physical remains. Again, I like that they're leading into this, and you don't have to see anything else, right? So meanwhile, so again, this is the thing they stolen, which is going to be the super weapon somehow. How, we don't know. Again, all the plots are really coming together beautifully. By the way, that scene with the starship flight, with the Titan flying under a starship and over a star, I literally groaned in pleasure, right? I did. I'm not exaggerating. That's totally what happened. Okay, so again, from a Riker's finest moment, he's getting the shit beaten out of him, right? And they're going to shoot him and say, fine, I'm not going to tell you shit. And then that the person who's holding into him and just shoots the other guards. And then shapeshift into Vanek, right? Not good news. He's like, fuck. So then he takes him aboard the I can't remember, the Osprey, some bird, right? And he's like, a bit brash, and like, you can kill me, I don't care. And he's like, yeah, I know we can kill you, we can do anything we want to you, but that's why we got something else there. And again, the look in his face, right? It's brilliant, fantastic, great cliffhanger. And they have Troy, right? Game over, mate, right? Game over. So look, what do we have to look for? Then we go into the awesome titles: Star Trekky, Star Trekky, Trekky, Star Trek, da da da, Star da 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 da. Fine. So where we have a look forward to? I mean, we got a daring rescue of Riker to look forward to. Hopefully, we're not going to have to see Troy raped and murdered. That would be a bit of a bummer for the season. I don't think we're going to see that, right? Hopefully, in Luther, you might. in this, probably not. So yeah, we got that to come. We got to find out what's with Jack. My guess is he's inhabited by a Parwraith, and because it's somehow connected to the wormhole, probably. What else is there? And we got 4 more episodes. Loving every freaking minute of this. Absolutely loving every freaking minute of it, because it's awesome, right? Absolutely freaking awesome, right? Absolutely awesome. Fine. Let's talk about a bit of Luther. Or should we look at some news first? Let's look at some news first. I haven't even looked at headlines yet. I'm talking nerd news, obviously. Yeah, nothing serious. We'll go to Bounding in the Comics. Okay, it looks like nothing's going on. Video file. Oh no, it's share screen. There you go. Let's have a quick look at the Bounding in the Comics headlines. I'm just not interested in anime at all. The Mandalorian executive producer Dave Filoni confirmed Star Wars timeline always goes the right. Look, hey, this has been going for a while. We understand that. Let's wait and see what happens. Indiana Jones is scrapped so Lucasfilm can focus on Star Wars. Well, fuck me, they need to. So people are tuning out Amanda, which is a shame because I think it's quite good. Gina Carano was a Kotaku editor that culminated her as a transphobe. The person who posted this is sad. Yeah, I tend to agree with you. Redfall director says studio is aware of player backlash in games. Always on. I don't care. I don't know about any of this shit. I'm bored by it all. Indeed, we already had the headline. Dave Filoni. Okay, look, I mean, Trent, John F. Trent, you need to calm down, mate. Everything's okay. Riddler and Penguin will turn for Batman 2. Who gives a shit? I'm just so bored. I'm not even bothering. I can't remember watching the whole of Batman, actually. Joker delivers to film outside Manhattan Criminal Court where Trump grand jury in hush money cases stationed. That's funny. Man only got a 6. I thought it was better. Inside review, stuck in the artistic program, never William Dafoe. That also gets a 6. Marvel further delays Disney content, Disney Plus content pushes back all upcoming releases to unspecified dates. Yeah, they are fucked. Yeah, they are fucked. So they're going to rewrite Kingpin's origins. I can't remember what they are. Leslie Head and Eckline only filming a pilot or sizzle reel, not full series. I believe that. I totally believe that. I wonder if they'll just do a sizzle reel. Yeah, I totally believe that. Don't you? That sounds totally reasonable. Was this the Flash release PG-13 rating, sequels of violence? Something okay. When's that coming out? So look at the release date, because Passover's coming up, which is another nightmare. Go on, just show me the date. That's all I care is the date. Okay, I don't want to know anything else. Just the date. Some James Gunn stuff. Fine. Okay, we'll go over here. 1 second. That's what we'll do. We'll go Flash release date. June 16th? Really? Oh, that one, I thought it was going to come out over Passover. I'm going to watch it then. Let's look at some Doctor Who headlines. We'll go to here. Doink. Doctor Who spin-off Rounder. Leave me alone with those. 10 biggest what the WTF moments. 6 Doctor Who characters who could appear in Doomsday. Nobody gives a shit. See, the funny thing about Doomsday was this. At first, it was so unbelievably awful, right? Everyone just went, what is that shit? And they forgot about their tribal lines, right? And now that people are trying to defend it, because look, I'm sorry, you're defending what you know is shit. And trying to pretend a cunt isn't one. I'm sorry, she was just cunty everywhere, and surprised that it didn't work out for her. And quite frankly, I can't wait till the story goes away. I'm sick of hearing about it. So 90, fine, nothing really there. No new news there. Fine. Let's talk about Luther. Hang on. We pull it up, or we pull up the Wikipedia, so I know who made it, and I'll pull up a poster as well. Luther, Fallen Sun, I think. Which look, honestly, it's totally a recommend. Where is it? Is this a poster for it? Yeah, it looks like that. Looks right here. 1 second. Yeah, so my only disappointment with this movie is it didn't have Rebecca Wilson in it, who is Rebecca Wilson, isn't it? What's her name? Yeah. There's a picture. I'm trying to find out who it is. Ruth Wilson, not Rebecca Wilson. My mistake. So that was my only disappointment with this. 1 second. Share screen. Doink. Yeah, that was literally my only disappointment with this, was that it didn't have Ruth Wilson in it. Look, I think a character was killed off. She's been killed off a bunch of times and came back. Like, it doesn't really matter, right? That she's been killed off a bunch of times. It's Luther again. They kind of got weird superpowers in this, right? So this is not for the weaker stomach, right? Luther, if you don't know, is a gritty cop drama where he breaks the law, but it's very good psychological horror. And he's like it stars Iris Elba, and he plays now lost the Wikipedia page. 1 second. Luther, Fallen Sun. There we go. Doink. So it's had a couple of like different soft reboots. This is a new one, in other words. So very creepy psychological horror, right? Lots of spoilers in this. Very creepy psychological horror. essentially about a lack of privacy that we're not aware of, right? And the and sick people in the world. But yeah, that's really it. It's, the villain in this is a blackmailer who is also a insanely sick as well, and likes to cause as much pain as humanly possible and be as much cruelty as humanly possible. So it starts off this like kid gets a text, he's got to go somewhere, right? He said, I can't go right now. I said, well, then everyone's going to know what, your 6 secrets, right? And so he goes somewhere, and there's it's always raining, right? It's always raining. This was directed by Jamie Payne, who I believe did a bunch of Doctor Who's, right? Written by Neil Cross. I do hope they're doing more, quite frankly. It was started produced by, based on, where's the director? Oh, this is really annoying. I'm looking at Wikipedia. Based on this, written by Jamie Payne, but he doesn't have a Wikipedia page. That's weird. Who does not have a Wikipedia page? Jamie Payne. What's he directed? I'm sure I've seen him do some Doctor Who's. Outlander, Invasion, New Amsterdam, Luther. So he's done Luther a lot. He's done 2 episodes there. So yeah, he's not new to this. Doctor Who, he did 2 episodes. What are these 2 episodes, I wonder? Hyde, I thought a well-directed episode. Time of the Doctor, again, I both well-directed. Fine. So the kid gets there. It's permanently raining in London, right? It's always raining. The weather is never good. And there's a car there, and there's somebody like unconscious or dead on the doors open. He's on the ground, and there's somebody dead at the wheel. So he goes to look at the person in the wheel and starts to try and call it into the police. And the guy who thinks he's dead on the ground gets up and very menacingly and terrifyingly tasers him and kidnaps him, right? So it's Luther's job. He's given this case. But there's Andy Serkis is a villain with an insane haircut. Andy Serkis, like with a huge bouffant. It's very weird, right? It's very, very strange. And he doesn't want Luther on the case. So this is the first 10 minutes, essentially. He has a dossier of everything he's ever done wrong. He releases to the press, so Luther is tried and sent to jail, right? So that's all right. That's where we are. 10 minutes in. This is a pretty hard reboot right there. Meanwhile, when he's searching doing the case, looking for the kid, his mother makes him, please, promise me you'll find him. Promise me you'll find him. He's like, yeah, okay. Luther in jail is really kind of cool, right? I have to say, that's a very, very cool concept. Because it's Idris Elba, who's very rough and tumble. So the psychopathic killer is just gets more psycho per second, right? Gets more insanely psycho per every millisecond. I just realized why I was wrong. The clocks go. Yeah, I just realized why I got the timing wrong, because I thought we lost an hour and we gained an hour. That's why I'm 3 hours ahead of you rather than 1 hour ahead. That makes so much more sense. I was so confused. Anyway, I digress. Right. So Luther is in jail, so this guy is insanely cruel, right? Just insanely sick and cruel. His next stunt is he has Luther sent a number, right? So he tunes into his radio and he hears the death of that kid. It's just like horrible, right? At the same time, that same recording, I think, is sent to his mother, and she goes to the place where they're told to go. It's a house, and when they get there, there's a bunch of people there, and a bunch of people like just who's been hung, right? They're dead, and their phones are all ringing, trying to find them, right? And it's just like it's the most insanely cruel thing you can possibly imagine. And then the house burns into flames, and they record them, right? So this guy is reasonably sick. So Luther decides, I've got to break out of prison and deal with him, right? I thought somebody would break him out of prison. No. So I can't work out how he breaks out of prison, but it's very cool. It's very cool. Essentially, somebody fakes hanging themselves, and then it causes a prison riot, which he then uses to fight his way, not out of prison, but in so much that he has to be transferred. And when he's transferred, somebody hijacks him, and it's his friend that he's arranged somehow. I couldn't really work it out. I didn't really care. It was basically, fun to watch. So then it's like this cat and mouse with Luther on the run. Again, so classic, cop show. Luther on the run, trying to catch the killer. And from there on, you have these awesome set pieces. Like you think you found it at one point at Piccadilly Circus. And then to distract them, he's got all these people blackmailed that are wearing these cameras so you can see their faces. This is so sick, right? And he forces them to when the Big Ben strikes, they all simultaneously or like in sequence jump off the buildings and commit suicide, causing mass havoc so he can escape. So what basically the guy's plan is to do a murder porn subscription service, right? Where people can, it's like called a red room where people can watch actual murders, right? And so it's really it's reasonably sick, right? Reasonably sick. Luther, he's got Andy Serkis has a wife who's been horribly scarred in a fire that he did. And the more you learn about Andy Serkis, like this character, the worse he gets. Like he befriends the mother of the kid he kills. It's just there's a lot of weird stuff going on there. So eventually, Luther and the cop who replaced him, who are now has a daughter kidnapped, they track him down to this place somehow in the snow. It looks gorgeous, looks absolutely gorgeous. Idris Elba in his like Luther coat trudging through the snow, and you see it in the trailer, right? And to go there, and then we have a big showdown at the end where he's captured with the other cop, and they're going to be like their first person that anybody can see on this like sick murder porn website, right? That they're doing. So the first thing they do is they get the lady cop because they got her daughter and they keep like suffocating her to death. They don't do what she says, and he gets to take the knife and stab Luther. Right? Again, it was like, yeah, okay, and then it's Luther's turn. He's supposed to shatter a kneecap with a hammer. He says, "Oh, your address." So it says all the cameras. All your addresses are being traced by the police. You're going to be arrested. And all the cameras turn off. Individually, one by one, right? Very, very quickly. So then the guy that made Andy Serkis lose his power essentially, and then you have this very good showdown between the two of them, and Dumont, where Luther is horribly. Honestly, he should have been killed several times over in this episode, right? He should have actually be dead. But basically, it's like the end of towards the end of Casino Royale where. James Bond is recuperating at the end. So he's broken out of prison. Former near Doctor Who, what's his name? Crowley. What's the name of the actor? 1 second. Dermot Crowley, right? Dermot Crowley, who is his former boss, who was very nearly Doctor Who one time. He's more of a... What else has he been in? Little Dorrit, Doctor and the Devils. Son of the Pink Panther. I do not remember any of this stuff. Legend of Bagger Vance. I've seen that, but I don't remember him in it. Right? I remember in this. He was pretty good in this. So he's recuperating in this like weird country mansion. He's like Dermot Crowley is like I'm not sure. It's like so Luther's like, no, where am I? It says who has me? It says I don't know. But I don't think you're going back to prison. And right at the end of it, Luther's got this very distinctive music, and that starts playing at the end as he goes to meet his like new benefactor. And he's like, "I think you're being offered a job, right?" So it's being rebooted. He's essentially some kind of rogue cop spy, right? By the end of it, yes, more of this, please. This is very good. I would like to see more of this. Okay. This is a recommend. I thought this was excellent. Now, something that really struck me about this was that I remember in the 60s and 70s, well, we got a lot of movies got made from TV shows for the British audience. Right, it's really weird, but that happened a lot. Right, on the buses, please, sir. Quite a few of them. And, some of them pretty good, of varying quality, let's say. But I kind of got used to seeing TV move to movies in that point. So this feels very similar, right? And it feels much more at home now because it's on Netflix and you're on you're watching it. But it has big TV, then it feels much more cinematic. Direction was good. Anything else I can think to say about this? Other than it's a recommend, right? It's absolutely a recommend. Do we have what the reaction's been? Critical response. The reviewer grader gave it 68% of 92 critics. So screw them. Let's see what they say in Rotten Tomatoes. Let's see what the audience score is, which is really the only thing that matters. Rotten Tomatoes. It's amazing how people make themselves irrelevant. Again, I want to be clear. My content is both on Twitter and Rumble, which I get more views on both. YouTube is just becoming more and more irrelevant, which I find fantastic. What are we looking at? Luther on Rotten Tomatoes. Fallen Sun. Here we come back. So 85. Audience gives it an 85. The critics give it a 68. Morons. Critics are morons. Okay, I just hate to tell you, critics are morons. Do I have any selected critic reviews? 91 reviews. That's a look. Anybody I care about? Anybody's name I've heard of? Not really. All right, who cares? It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter because they're all wrong. Well, how do we know they're wrong? Because they're critics, right? Because they're critics. Fine. As I think I got the times royally screwed up tonight. I think I'm going to wrap up a little bit early. I will be back tomorrow night. And I'm sorry we keep missing our headline. Look, here's the truth, right? Here's the absolute truth. I keep missing the headline articles because they just don't matter, right? These are basically they're things to put on the thumbnail to make people want to watch it. And I'll read them. I'll get, there's a lot of content I need to get to, right? But they're not urgent. Like Picard was urgent. There's nothing really happening with Doctor Who. Hey, let's have a look on Twitter, right? Let's have a look on Twitter, see if there's anything in the whole Doctor Who world going down. Hang on. 1 second. Hashtag Doctor Who. Hashtag Doctor Who. I saw what's there had released another picture. Somebody said this. Where is this? For Back to Gentlemen, here's a restoration coloration I've been toying with. Oh, this is from Clayton Hickman. Oh, this is we're absolutely going to look at in a second. Yeah. This is really cool. I love Clayton Hickman's work. All right, it is fantastic. How does he do this? This is incredible. Hang on, I'm trying to get the picture. I'll just have to share the screen. All right, and yes, 1 second. This really is stunning. It's the original, and this is a restoration. Look at that! Insane. That's just beautiful, right? It's just really, really good. Let's get back again. Just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, let's go back to Twitter. See if anything news going down. No, nothing, right? Absolutely nothing. Yeah, really. Oh, what's this? I don't know, 1 second. Hang on. I can't put this on without knowing where it comes from. No, there's just no news, right? There's just no news. Anything else? I'll try another tab for most recent. No, nothing. Nothing's going down, baby. And that's why the Doctor Who news has been kind of light right now, because there's just really not much going on. Does anybody know anything that's going on? No, there's nothing's really turning me on with Doctor Who. Oh yeah, this is what I was going to show you. This is so funny. Like, why would you release this? It's so bizarre. This is, I mean, like, now they just seem to be trolling themselves for some reason. This is so funny. Yeah, one sec. Look at this picture. Like, well, how funny is this going to be when nobody watches it? Literally, I mean, nobody watches or buys your shit. Like, how funny will this be? I thought before that Big Finish should just recast this part, right, and re-record it. I forgot she's also going to be in video games. This is just this is a woke disaster. What is woke? Woke is a mindless, slavish following of whatever social media algorithms think is good or bad at one time, moral or immoral, right? So they saw her and she's woke, right? I'm trans white and I'm all about politics, you know. And John Dorney did this whole thing where he says, "Oh, she's clever." I mean, he backtracked very, very quick from that, so I don't want to harp on it, right? Bless him. His initial quote tweet was just funny, right? Which is why we're defending this, right? Because again, anyone defending this is just completely on tribal lines, right? It's completely on tribal lines because it's garbage. Where is it? Note to all trolls in fandom: try not to take on a comedian who has already had far bigger people there coming at her than you coming at her. I don't care. I came at her. It's like watching Star Wars fan tangle with Carrie Fisher. I have no idea what you call it. She's smarter. No, she isn't. And funnier. No, she isn't than you. She's smarter and funnier than you. You will lose. She's not, and she lost. Right? As did the licensees, and did anybody who put money into this. They're the ones that are like, why? Why would you do? It's like what? I would love to hear the thought process by them, but again, it's just there was no thought, right? It's just insane. Why do this to anyone? Okay, Suze, you do, darling. You do, you moron. And I love how we all just mindly follow, like defending it now. Oh no, it's shit. I'm sorry, you're defending shit that you know is shit, right? And basically we all see through you, right? Everybody sees through you. Yeah, essentially. Yeah, and that's why they freak out, because they don't like being seen through. Anyway, with that, I'm going to wrap up. With that, I am tired. I'm going to hit the end broadcast button tomorrow. Tomorrow I will be on. If I'm 3 hours ahead, tomorrow I'll be on earlier. Okay, tomorrow I'll be on at 5 will be 4 o'clock for you. Maybe I'll be on 4. Maybe Sunday afternoon. Who knows? Okay, YouTube as always, unless they give me a copyright thing or a community strike, which they probably will. Rumble, yes, and Twitter, man, you hope. And also my video is going to be on Facebook now as well. Not my live streams, right? Not my live stream. Fine, with that, hit the end broadcast button. Hit me again, and that Wizzy will.